What's going on, guys? Welcome back to We the Champs. I'm your host, Jalen, and of course, we got a reg now. Like I said before, our guy John. How you feeling, John?
Doing well.
Doing well. All right. He says the day's long because he's moving as fast as a F1 car today, apparently. And it's still long. He's moving fast. It's still long. But yeah, we just had the race this past weekend, Saudi Arabia. And another McLaren driver took this one, Oscar Piastri. And, there was some controversial stuff at the beginning. There was a crash at the beginning. So let's not hold you guys from it. But first, hit that like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it. But first, my guy, I want to ask you about this race drama. Okay, guys. So this is the first season that I'm like really, really locked into the Formula One season. And it just seems like it's just so intense in this environment. I mean, is it the media or has it just always just been like this with racing?
I mean, it's like this with racing in general. Like I said, the media is always going to find a pair that are always kind of going to go at it. They're always going to have race drama or beef throughout the entire season. A couple of years ago, it was, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. And to the point where the two of them were crashing each other. And if you keep going back a few years, Michael Schumacher had his several people that he battled with. And, back further, you've got, Alan Prost and, his name slips my mind right now, but Jackie Stewart. I mean, these guys just had Alan Prost more and Martin Senna. And and they've all it's for years. There's always been race drama that just constantly happens, and they just keep it going on and on and on, and it makes it hyped up for the season. So yeah,
I guess so. It's like because I mean it's sometimes it's back-to-back weekends, and now there's a 2-week break. There's even a monthly break, so it's like in that little dead space, you need some kind of drama, some kind of story to hold on to.
Something to stir up.
Yeah, something to stir up till it gets us to the race Sunday or Saturday night or whatever. So they do a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, having the triple header like this, and then to run into Miami next, which Miami's always an interesting race. It's the first. Well, I mean, I guess the Saudi race and all of them are pretty hot, but it's a different environment, different, it's not a desert environment. We're talking a wet tropical environment in Miami, and it's already hot down there.
Yeah.
It's a kind of it's interesting. It's an interesting race because you never quite know who's going to win.
All right. And how long has how long the Miami race has been around?
4 years.
4 years? Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Now they had one in the 80s. But it was in one of the casino parking lots around that. But so the new one in the new Miami Autodrome is 4 years.
Okay.
I think 21 was the first season.
21? Okay. It wasn't too long ago. All right. So recap of the race. Oscar Piastri took gold, and now he's atop the standings. He's sitting there with 99 points, 3 wins, 4 podiums out of 5 races. And the nearest person behind him is his teammate Lando with 89 points, a win, and 4 podiums. Then after you got Max trailing by about 12 points. So, dude, that's very interesting. So what'd you take in this race as far as, all right, so other than the penalty, let's get to the penalty. So from Oscar's, his take, his performance, and how he was moving. What did you take from that?
Well, there's a big difference. Lando, everyone was thinking this is going to be Lando's year, and Lando's a great driver. I give him all the credit in the world, but Lando has self-confidence issues, and he has some. And I still think he still is a little bit intimidated by Max. Oscar is not, And I looked at it, and I've seen the different views and angles. I mean, I guess you could kind of go both ways on this one, but I still think
I feel that way too.
It's all perspective, and Max didn't get his way this year. Red Bull didn't win win that appeal for that part. So the 5-second penalty happens, and that's just what set the race to where Max just couldn't recover from it because the McLaren is just so fast. But it is interesting because it is showing that Red Bull is now starting to get back to being competitive. He just can't pull away anymore. He couldn't
Yeah.
make the 5-second difference up.
Yeah, that was going to be tough. Yeah, that was funny, man. So my metaphor, how I put this is, like you said, Lando suffers from somewhat, or you think he has confidence issues, which we all kind of like, oh man, it's like, you got it, push for it. However, it's like Oscar isn't scared.
Yeah.
You think about a big tough team in like the NBA, the NFL. It's like, all right, these guys are pushing you around or being bullies and whatnot. Then you just have that one guy who's really going to push somebody back, slap them in the face, pull their jersey, and, get rough with them to let you know I'm here. Like, you're not about to bully me and have your way like you typically do. And so can you explain this to me, if you know about this? So they said Piastri wasn't on the apex when he I have it in my notes here. He missed the apex when he did that.
Yeah, when they have to give a car's width. Max was ahead at the apex. So technically Piastri needed to either back out or give Max enough room to stay on the track. So Max had to cut the track, and then they said cutting the track and he gained an advantage, which again, he was forced off the track in doing so. So that's where it's a judgment call. It could have been either way, and I've seen different angles, but everyone I've seen, it does look like Max is ahead, and Piastri should have backed out or gave the space he needed, and so this is a call on the FIA, and Max and FIA aren't friends. He's had enough with them.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, is this a big fu to Max? It's like even if this call was just subconscious and they don't even realize they're being biased on Oscar Piastri, that was the first thing. Once I read about all this, how Nico was going in on all this, they're probably like, "Fuck you guys, bro!" Like, no, bro, fuck it, whatever. And maybe that clouded their judgment so thoroughly that it was just, fuck this.
I mean, he's Red Bull and Max have for the last couple of years have kind of gotten away with a few things that were questionable. I mean, there's some calls that were questionable in the years with Lewis Hamilton. There were some questionable calls that were made. So every year Red Bull tends to come out pretty well in these types of things. I don't think they're going to get it this year. I think Red Bull has been regulated back a little bit, and they're not getting the stewards and stuff are on their side.
All right. And guys, like I said before, I'm also new to this. I'm learning as we do this. When we do this segment, this is John's show, not mine. This is John, this is the champ. Now, could you explain to me how Max could have assessed the 5-second penalty back? Now, do they tell him? Are they like, hey, you have a 5-second penalty. You have to let Piastri take lead. If you don't, you're going to be assessed the penalty. How does that process work?
He could have given the lead back to Oscar and avoided the penalty. But him knowing that this is the kind of track that, I mean, there's a lot of great overtaking opportunities, but he knows that McLaren is fast. And he knows his car can keep up with it, but it may not be enough to get past it. So he already knew in his mind, that if he got in front of him, he's not catching him. And so he took the risk and the gamble.
Okay.
And justifiably, he felt he was pushed off the track, and they're saying he cut the track to gain an advantage. So that was just a poor call, I guess, overall for me, that from his engineers and all. They should have made him give it back and avoided the penalty and just tried to race it out and maybe did a pit stop strategy or something that could have got him back ahead. But yeah, that was a poor call from all sides. from the FIA through Red Bull through all.
Damn. All right. So let's broaden this topic a little bit. So I'm looking at the driver and constructor standings right now. Like I said, I gave you, of course, we know the top three. We have Russell right here at number 4 in the standings with 73, and Charles Leclerc Ferrari at 47. Dude, I want to see George Russell get some gold. I'd like to see him get some gold here.
His Mercedes is showing a lot of promise this year. And where George Russell, Max has kind of always been the bully. For at least the last 5 years, Max has been a bully, maybe even longer. Even when he was young, he was even a bully. And George was kind of the first one to kind of stand up to him in the media, will come and yell at him, which, that kind of stuff doesn't happen. All the other drivers are kind of scared. But George is different on the track. George is a gentleman on the track. He definitely follows the rules. He stays within the lanes. The typical English gentleman plays by the rules. Max takes advantage of that. Piastri is the first one who doesn't say a word, and his actions speak. He's the guy who punches the bully in the mouth.
Australia
versus talking to him. And yeah, this is going to make the constructor standings. These top 5, everyone in this top 5 are capable of winning it this year. Leclerc's not out of it yet. Russell's still very much in the fight. The 12 points between Piastri and Max, it's one crash away.
Yeah.
It's one crash. And I was actually kind of shocked, that usually that Jeddah is a track that it's tight, it's narrow in a lot of places, and people tend to bounce off the wall a lot in that. And usually safety cars, this year only having one was impressive.
Right. Right.
All the drivers did good this year. They did not a lot of safety cars or crash issues. So we only lost 2. And
whose fault was that? I wanted to get into that one too. Pierre or Yuki?
That's just cold tires. I don't think anyone was at fault. I mean, I'm sure the penalty will be assessed to Yuki, because it did look like, from what I could see, he spun first and just caught Pierre Gasly in
the rear.
Yeah, and so he'll probably get assessed the penalty points for it, but it's just a racing incident on cold tires, trying to get a start going, in a super fast track.
Okay.
But yeah, so back to the topic of where we were with the top 5. Like I said, it's one crash away. You could have a bad day between the McLarens. The two of them start getting into a battle with each other, and if they're going to argue, because team orders are going to come down the pipe at some point, Oscar's going to tell him, "Fuck you. I'm not giving no position to Lando." It's coming quickly to that point now, where he's the number 1 driver and Lando is the number 2 driver.
Yeesh.
And you're going to have problems with that. And someone like Max in a good position could take advantage of it, but so can George Russell, so can Leclerc. The 3 of them could have a field day if both McLarens take each other out. And in the way, and think about this.
I just hope everybody's safe. I just hope everybody is safe. Oh my God.
In the way they've been qualifying, I mean, outside of the last weekend, they're qualifying. They're usually 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. I mean, they're usually right by each other. So there's a really good chance of them two taking each other out. Who, if Lando qualifies better than Oscar, you can rest assured that Oscar is going to pass him if he can. And that's where the crash is going to start happening. And that's great for all the other teams. Bad for McLaren.
Oh yeah, they're going to eat that shit up.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the driver and the constructor rankings or the standings, any surprises here, or does this look about moderate, or how you would see?
In the top 5, not a lot of surprises. That's kind of what I would have figured the top 5 drivers would be. More surprise in the top 10. From 6 to 10. You've got Alex Albon in there, which is, I mean, Williams is doing great. scoring points every it seems like every race they're scoring points. There's a couple surprises from that. I mean, there's guys that just aren't normally there. I mean, even Lance Stroll's in there, which is like, what? Where the hell did he come from?
All right, like what the
heck? One good race.
And then of course, so impressed with the rookie Antonelli sitting at number 6 with 38 points. That right there is that's outstanding.
He's the real deal. He's the real deal. And if I was George Russell, I would be scared. Because Antonelli's, he's cheaper, he's hungry, and if any of the now they're gonna Red Bull's gonna say the rumors aren't true, but the only logical team for Max to go to, it's not going to be McLaren because they're not going to cut those two drivers.
No,
Mercedes is the only logical choice for him outside of Aston Martin, and I just don't think he'll do that. Even though Adrian Newey designing the cars, I just don't think Max will take the risk for a substandard car where he has an opportunity at Mercedes, and Russell could be out of a seat if that happens.
Now, is this Mercedes car better from last year?
It's much better than last year.
Yeah.
They've got a competitive car. I mean, I've never seen a season where you have 5 teams that have competitive cars.
Now,
they're all close.
Now, looking at it from this perspective, I didn't even think about this until just now. So, is it possible Hamilton maybe left at the wrong time now, or was it more so they were building this car to be more accustomed to his skill set that might have been holding the car back from them getting a racer for it to be optimal?
I think that they worked really hard to make a car that would make Hamilton happy and keep him so he can end his career at Mercedes. Mm-hmm. It's still too early to say if he made a bad choice or not. For him, it's jumping into a car that is not really designed for him. It was really designed around Leclerc. He's jumping with brand new engineers that he had Bono for most of his, at least all of his Mercedes career, he had Bono. And, he had that one consistency in his ear. Now you've got confusing signals, confusing feedback from his engineers. He's not completely comfortable with the car yet. It just doesn't he hasn't got the feel for it yet, but he's in a competitive car. So, I mean, no doubt. I mean, Leclerc is obviously showing that's a competitive car, and I would say they're probably exactly the same. And so, it's. I think he left early. I mean, my opinion, he did. But it's still too early to say if it was a bad leave. The Ferrari's going to be in the top 3. Maybe. Yeah. Mercedes might take it.
We'll see. I'm liking Mercedes, man. I like the momentum.
Look at it this way: Red Bull's not going to be in the top 3 this year, as far as
the
constructors.
Yuki's car keeps fucking up because one race earlier he couldn't finish because the rear was popping up. Was that with Red Bull or Racing Bulls? I'm not sure.
That might have been the Racing Bulls. I mean, for being his first time in the Red Bull car,
in the car, yeah.
These couple races, he's scoring points. He did score points in at least one race. The crash, shit happens. That's a crash. That's not a mark against him. But without consistently scoring, 2 years ago, year ago, you had Perez and Max scoring, 1, 2, 3 constantly. That kept them ahead of everybody. You're not getting that this year. So Red Bull's got one car that's staying consistently in the top 10 and one that hasn't made it yet. That's their stupidity for not pulling Yuki over at the beginning of the season. Liam Lawson should have stayed down there.
Right. It's a bad call, but like you said, their strategy is always pretty good. I expect them to stay in the top 5. Actually, I expect Red Bull to stay in the top 3. Giving it some more races. You don't?
No, I think it's going to be McLaren. It's going to be McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari, the top 3 this year.
Ferrari. Oh shit. Okay.
I think that Red Bull will be the best of the rest. They'll
Best
beat
of the rest. Okay, that'd be cool to see Williams pop up here. Sainz isn't even in the top 10 right now.
Not yet,
Sainz,
but
not yet.
he is. I think he's gotten a good feel for the car. I think he's starting to progress well, and Albon is showing that car's competitive, and Sainz is as good a driver, if not a better driver than Albon, and that's questionable in my opinion. But they're going to be a threat. I mean, they've got a fast car, and in the right tracks that suit them, they're going to be a threat.
Oh yeah.
They'll snatch some they might get a podium, and they're definitely going to stay in the point scoring consistently this year.
Okay. At number 5, we got Williams. All right, my guy John. We're coming up on time. I really appreciate you coming back on the show today.
Absolutely.
Anything else you got for us, or do you want to make an early prediction for the Miami race?
That's interesting. Miami's going to be a good race. I think that Lando took it last year, kind of with a pit stop strategy. They got Max, and so I think it's going to be Lando and Piastri are going to crash, and Max is going to win.
Yeah, so let's go. No. Oh, let those two crash. I want Russell to win. I want Russell to get one earlier. I want this to be tight.
He might. He might, but Miami's never been good for him.
Ah, damn. Then we got that.
Yeah, I say the next race is coming after Miami. He's got a better chance.
Okay, what's after Miami? Emilia?
Imola. Yeah, Imola's next. And
where the hell is that at?
That's in Italy.
Italy. Italy. Okay.
Yeah, that's like the Ferrari's home turf.
Okay. Charles won that one last year, right?
Yeah. Well, I can't remember who won it last year. It was somebody in a Ferrari. It's either Sainz or Charles last year.
Okay. Because I remember they were hyping them up, and everything. Of course, I watched Drive to Survive.
They've got Imola's one, but then they've got their bigger one at the end of the year, which is the Jesus. It's I think it's further into the season. God, I'm having a bad day. You can tell it's been too long. Let's see. I'll tell you. They always have, because Italy has 2 big races a year, and so Imola's the coming up, and then it will be the where is it?
Italian.
The next Italian one after that is going to be. They have moved it around.
September 7th.
Yep.
Is that Autodromo? I can't pronounce that. Monza. Monza
is a super speedway. Thank you for telling me. I just could not get it out of my head.
You're good.
Super speedway.
I couldn't say it either.
That's a fast, hell of a fast track. Everyone goes all out there. That's a pure speed track. But that's really kind of like another big Ferrari home. So you got Imola, then you got Monaco, and Monaco. That's all about the street circuit. Who can race that? That's the next street circuit that's tossed in there, and there's a couple of good guys. And
who's good at the street circuits? Who's some of the best and better guys at street circuits?
Leclerc won it last year. That's his home, so he's going to be gunning for it again.
Okay, that's the race. That's the race I was thinking of.
Yeah, he's from Monaco, so he's going to be gunning for that, and he's always does well there. He's not always finished well there, but he's always done well. And so your street guys, Max is decent in the streets. Perez was better, but Max is decent in the streets, and that's a track that he can win on. But that's a track again that kind of comes to who qualifies. That's a hard track to overtake on. So it's about qualifying that day. But we got a sprint. We got a sprint race for the Miami. So that's another sprint qualifying and all that coming up. So you get to see 2 races.
Let's go.
Sprint race and then that for Miami. So lots of points to be won in Miami.
All right. I should be over this Sunday. Just watch that one with you.
right.
other than that, I'll see you tomorrow too. All right.
Sounds good.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in to We the Champs. And thanks, John, for coming on and talking some F1 racing. I really appreciate you. Guys, We the Champs. We out. Peace.